9 cycles have passed. When the gods deem mortals too powerful, they decree a race between their avatar and the mortals to determine their worth. In the race, the mortals are granted a chance to engage the very gods themselves. The mortals are granted a chance of survival. The mortals are granted a chance to become gods. Lose and see all mortal life removed from the Kryn, and the next cycle begins. This race is the final command of the gods to their mortal counterparts. This is their dying order.
Hello everyone, welcome to the beginning of the stream. Carry on. I'll say hello to everyone.
There you go. Continue.
You were all having a really in-depth conversation about horror games.
We were all having a ball.
And I just had to interrupt and be like, "We're starting the stream now." And then carry on. Just keep, you can keep talking about it. You tell me what your favorite horror game is of all time. Why not?
Oh,
you know?
Mine probably would be Soma. Soma's definitely one of my faves. Yes, it's good.
Really good. Have you played Narcosis by the chance?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I will put a link in the Discord for you, but if you're a huge fan of Soma, you should definitely play that game.
Yeah.
Don't look anything up about it. Just
okay,
dive in.
I will avert my eyes.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yes.
That's it. I think my favorite of all time would be Silent Hill 2, but it's tough because there are a lot of really good horror games out there. But yeah, if we're going all time, it's probably that one.
Yeah.
Mine has to be Amnesia, or not Amnesia. Amnesia for the story, but what was the other one? Outlast, the original.
Oh yes,
the original was pretty scary.
That one, that's the only one I had to like several times be like, okay, I'm done, and then go back to it.
I think I fell out of my chair during was it Outlast or Outlast 2? There are a couple of games where I have actually just been so startled. It was Outlast. I punched my microphone to get it away from me, and then I fell out of my chair. Yep, so that's a good one.
It was the demo, the Outlast 2 demo, that I like pushed my chair back and screamed like this. Like pure people like she definitely wasn't faking that.
Oh God.
What about you,
KPP? What about you? Yeah.
I like Dead Space a lot. It surprised me. But I think Outlast too. That was the first scary game I ever played on stream, and we used to like ritually light candles before every stream, and I used to stream from my couch. Not like a ritual, just like that we would do it at the beginning of. So I play in the dark.
But I was immediately, thinking like she's gonna knock one of those over, and the living room's gonna catch fire. Dangerous. I was just having a moment where it was like, oh no.
No, because Kodo didn't like. Kodo was my dog. He didn't like when I played scary games, so he would actually make me nervous being around the candles because he would jump on the couch and stand in front of me.
Aww.
And I'd be like, buddy, I'm just trying to play a game. I'm just scared. So he didn't like when I played Outlast. But Outlast was a really it was a horrifying experience that has stuck with me forever.
Well, there's something about Outlast because most of these other horror games, I feel like you have a little bit of control. And I think in Outlast, you don't have any weapons really, do you?
No.
Nope.
No, and you're just running. You're just running.
It's literally running and hiding.
Yeah, and it's the worst.
That's what I liked about Amnesia as well, though. You don't have weapons. You're just running and hiding. And then that one, what's really cool is that like the bad guys or the monsters, like sometimes they're just a figment of your imagination.
I love it when they do that, or when you hear something and you see a shadow but you don't get to see the enemy.
Yeah.
Like I hate it when they when you show me the bad guy super early on. By like 3/4 of the game, I'm just like, oh, it's this guy. Okay, well, I'm gonna run, and I'm anxious now, but I'm not terrified. Whereas if you let my own brain fill in the blanks as to what that horrific thing is, it'll do way better than anything else will. So I'm my own worst enemy in regards to that. So
my chat saying, tell them about Alien Isolation. Well, the first time I played it, I lasted 18 minutes.
Yeah.
The sound scared me. I was like,
sound
nope.
design in that is really good.
I lasted 4 hours. And then I was like, I beat the game. I didn't beat the game. I was just like,
I'm like, we're done. I'm never playing this again.
I got so scared. I had one of those like bombs or whatever, like a noise bomb or something. I got so scared that when the alien jumped out, that I threw it right in front of myself.
Oh no! But
and then had to run.
The game where it learns based on what you're doing.
Yes,
yeah.
It learns every time.
It starts to hunt you down in the lockers.
Yes.
Fuck that game. Fuck that game so hard.
Oh yeah.
Terrifying. I have a clip from that when I played that game where I heard something. I scared myself. I turned around with a flamethrower and was like, just screaming at the top of my lungs. And then there was nothing there. It was literally just my own brain that had like terrified myself. And then of course, because I made so much noise, the alien dropped down right there in front of me after I was like, oh God, it was awful. Anyway, we should probably play some D&D.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brad.
You don't have to. This is a fun podcast to listen to your scariest games. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Yay, it's D&D. Also scary. Not really going to be that scary. It's slightly scarier. It's been 2 weeks, and it's my fault. I'm sorry we wasn't here last week, but we're here this week, and you are all you're all ready to return to the land of the dead. I have a piece of fan art that I quickly want to show off that was sent in by Jack Lack, and it's really cool looking, and it's pretty good to remind us of what happened last time because it's been a couple weeks. Ding, there we go. There it is, Jack Lack at the bottom there. I think it's at Jack Lack, but I don't know if that is your actual Twitter. But it's Jack Lack in our Discord.
I'm just gonna look right now.
In our Discord channel, we have a fan art a sub channel or whatever it's called. I don't know how Discord works. I'm an old man. But there's a fan art section, and Jack Lack posted this in there, and it's awesome. It's Ellie when she first arrived here in this kind of place, behind the door that she went behind to face the God of Death, Merkel, and it's just awesome looking. So thanks, Jack Lack. Also, if you guys, you four have scrolled up, which I know you probably haven't in the Roll20, but there's like stuff in here like a pseudopod from a black pudding and charm person and all these things. It looks like I was gearing up, and I don't trust that you were like,
well, we're not gonna
black pudding's coming to get us. It's not. I was showing Cinnamon Toast Ken how to DM in Roll20, and I was using this, and then while I was doing it, I was rolling dice and stuff, and then I was like, dude, they're gonna think there's a black pudding coming to get them. Just so you know, it's not. I don't know. It's the type of thing that I would do. I'd roll up and be like, yeah, the black pudding's coming to get us. So you'd be expecting.
Well, I don't know what a black pudding is besides like
a delicious dessert.
Yeah, it's like the worst thing ever. There are horrible creatures in D&D. They're like ooze. It's like venom, kind of like kind of like that type of a thing. That's kind of but it's horrible. Okay. Venom is lovely. He's a lovely boy. Okay. Eventually.
Oh yeah, those look pretty horrific.
Yeah.
Okay.
My Deloney is screaming block caps in the chat. Black pudding killed my level 3 character. Okay, there you go. They're a wonderful monster. But yeah. So Jack, thanks for the fan art. It's awesome, man. If you want to join our Discord, Tablestory's Discord, all the links are around. You just have to find them, but they're nearby, and you can find them if you try. And you'll be able to see all of the fan art that people post over there for all of our different shows that we do. It's been a little bit. It's been a little bit of time since we did our last session. And as a quick reminder for y'all, I will tell you what happened. You came to this place that looked like the Boundary, the place you first appeared in the campaign where you met Ahi and everything. There were 4 doors there behind the kind of platforms that each of you appeared on. There were kind of like runic symbols on the ground in red for 3 of you and green for Bo. When you went to Bo's door and Bo touched the door, you guys were transported to another plane, another place, and it was underwater. You ended up fighting with this creature that revealed itself to be Deep Seychelles. You lost the combat and you were ejected kind of from the plane again. When you did so, you guys ended up back in your own boundary again. You relaxed, you rested. You found that it was energizing you and healing you quicker and stuff to just be in that place. And you also discovered that one of the other doors had a green symbol, and it was Ellie's door. You guys went over to that door. Ellie opened the door, and you were transported to the plane that is beyond that. Down there, you solved a puzzle that involved a lovely painting on the wall of death. And when you solved the puzzle, you went even further into this plane and found yourselves in this kind of smoky landscape with all these kind of creepy creatures around, ghosts, and this horrible amalgamation of things that was known as the Lost. Ellie was confronted by Death himself. Probably I should say itself, but Death, Merkel, the god of death, Merkel, spoke to Ellie and kind of insinuated that she'd have to take its place if she was to complete the Dying Order and champion into the next cycle under the rules of chaos that she would become Death. And she also unlocked her innate ability, which was the Echo Eye, which for all intents and purposes is a straight rip-off of the Sharingan from Naruto. And she can absorb, or she can take one skill or ability or learn something critical about your foes by activating this ability.
Enemy skill materia.
Enemy skill materia, blue magic. Same, yeah, if you're a Final Fantasy fan. So she unlocked that. She ended up becoming incorporeal because you were fighting with these ghosts. You defeated them with the epic ending kill animation being Aura doing a triple backflip, pike tuck with a greatsword, cutting the face off of this thing, and then beheading it, and defeating the things, these creatures that were put before you. And that's where we ended the session. So, if you all are ready, we'll jump back in. If you want to jump back in. Yeah? Okay, yes. Good. Sorry, I'm trying to get my Roll20 to load on one page. It's loaded on the other one. I don't know if it's going to load on this one. But we're going to find out.
Shoot the shit and stall for you if you need us to. But
no, to be fair, this is kind of what I'm doing a lot of the time when GMing. Other GMs out there probably know that feeling of like, I'm just spinning these 8 plates, but you only see this one. There's this one plate, it's shiny, look at the shiny plate. And you're like, oh, fuck, I've got to get this one going as well. So that is the power of GMing. Aha, there it is. Okay, good. Right, it's loaded. And I'm going to bring you back over to Merkel's Lands. And we're gonna get into it. So, essentially, the 4 of you defeated the creatures that were around you at that in that area, and you each of you once again basically find yourselves in this smoky, kind of shadowy, very dark landscape. There are patches of light and glimmers of light that come from the certain areas around you, wispy kind of lights that dance in the distance, but are kind of indeterminable about how far away it is without being able to see anything really around you. Even the ground below foot feels stable under your feet, but you can't necessarily see your feet through the smoke and the shadow. Even those of you with dark vision, you'll probably find that your dark vision doesn't activate fully or correctly, since there is pieces of light, little patches that come down. There are a couple of dancing orbs that are much larger than others that represent similar kind of glows or light to what we might find as the moon, but it doesn't seem to necessarily be the moon. If you were to look at it for too long, you realize that they're moving around in odd ways. There are these walls around you that were standing up, this kind of broken tower that had shifted up out of the darkness and out of this smoke, standing around you. And as I think Aura kind of resteadies herself after fighting with this thing, and you guys see her deal that final blow to this creature, you see that the tower almost immediately begins to shift and change again in the way that it kind of grew around you and manifested itself around you when you first stepped through that door or saw the tunnel that you were in turn to dust and shift and manifest into the tower. It once again shifts again. The tower above you, everyone give me perception checks, and Suna, you have advantage.
Okay.
As this begins.
$13.
13, 13, 24, 21. Okay, 24 and 21, which is Aura and Ellie. You are the first to catch the shifts and change in this tower. It's a crumbling, broken tower with no roof or ceiling or anything around you. There are a couple of ruins outside of it as well that may have been old parapets or something like that. But this entire thing looks like a section of a ruined castle, and it gives away and it changes. But for a moment, there's the two of you maybe are looking up at this precise moment when you see a glimmer and a kind of ethereal kind of looking edge to the tower above you as it stretches upwards. Now it pierces into the sky before giving away to smoke and dust once more. There's just a brief moment as you see this tower full and finished, complete. Yet it reaches endlessly into this kind of dark sky above you. You see it kind of, and now each of you see it kind of shift to smoke and dust once more. And in front of where most of you are facing, or to your back, there's an opening in the ground that gives way. A small crack then gives a lot more space to the area around you as it opens up, eventually creating this huge crevasse, maybe about 100 feet from your side to the other side. The tower, the stones and rocks and landscape around you flattening out mostly, and the smoke and dust and shadows that are shifting around your feet and around your legs fall slowly and cascade off of the edge of this crevasse, falling downwards into what maybe is just an endless depth, tearing the land apart just directly in front of where you are, running along horizontally from where you can see from the edge of your vision to the other edge of your vision. On the other side, I think all four of you, if you look and you witness this thing, you'll see a sort of shadowed Reaper-like figure. Ellie, you would recognize this, but the other three wouldn't have seen the figure of Merkel. Very far in the distance, we're talking hundreds of feet away, very small, standing still and waiting. And as each of you stands there staring across this crevasse to the other side, your skin melts away to liquid. You look down, seeing your skin, the flesh, and not your clothing or anything like that, but the skin underneath it melts away. You feel nothing. It doesn't feel any different to you at all, but it melts and drips from your yellowed bones. And looking at one another, you'd see the same thing as the and it falls away from you quickly, as if it does have the substance of water, and it falls and drips from you into that smoke below you, and it's gone. And you would notice, looking at each other, who is who from a couple of trademarked features. Bo still has kind of wisps of grey hair and a beard and glasses. Ellie's still wearing her leathers. Aura's still got horns. Una with the grey hair and the same clothing that you have. All four of you now
skeletal?
Looking at each other and each other's skeletons under your clothing. Each of you also only gets to take one single feature, trait, or spell from your character sheet to bring with you into the next stage of the Land of the Dead. So
Oh boy.
Pick one thing from your character sheet. Any one thing, really. For the record, not weapons. Your weapons are the weapons that you will collect in a second. So I'm talking about, for example, the chronomancy, or one of your spells, cure wounds. Bo, you might want to take the thing that allows you to control water or something like that. Ellie, you could technically take something like sneak attack, or you could take the echo eye that you just got.
I'd probably take echo eye.
So for, one skill, feature, or trait, just pick it, call it out so that I know what it is, and everything else for a while will be locked to you as you become a skeleton.
I'll take pass without a trace, or pass without trace.
Okay.
I'm taking strength of the grave.
Okay.
I'm definitely taking control elements.
Okay. And then the echo eye, yeah?
We are so fucked.
Yeah.
All right. So your character sheet is now the monster manual skeleton, and that's really all you are. So if you go in, I've just thrown it up. If you click on the character sheet portion, you are now just this: a medium, undead, lawful evil, AC 13, hit points 13. Those are your skills. You have, as you stand there, you look at your skin melt away. You also see your weapons, and apart from your clothing, everything else melts away with it. Your backpack with all of the stuff in it, things like that.
What
On your
about my walking stick?
gone.
Is it gone?
On your hip, you find a short sword, old and rusted, a short bow on your back, and a quiver with a few arrows in it. And though you may not use these things, you feel as though you are relatively proficient with them. Ellie, for example, knows how to use everything. Aura knows how to use a sword, but maybe Bo doesn't swing a sword too much. There's an element of understanding that comes with these items. And you are skeletons. You can speak.
Okay.
But let's imagine that you were to interact with someone else. They might not be able to understand what you're saying. However, when you speak to each other, you understand each other clearly, as if you still have your larynx and you're able to speak. You might see each other's jaw unhinging and moving at weird angles while you speak, but you would be able to understand each other. And as each of these things happen, you feel both weaker and stronger. You feel a little disoriented for a moment before the sensation and understanding of what's going on here kicks in. And I think, again, you don't feel too different in the same way that Ellie felt recently with her hands, that she could see and couldn't. In fact, all of you did it. Sorry, you're closing your hands, for example. You wouldn't necessarily feel bones. It might still feel like it's your hands. Whether that's a phantom pain or whether this is more of an illusion, I don't think you necessarily understand right now. So all of this happens within moments as this tower disappears around you. A huge opening in the ground appears, a huge, great big canyon, a crevasse 100 foot from your side to the other side, and nothing else really around you. No walls anymore, apart from a little glow from some of the light around you, and then each of you take on this skeletal form. What would you like to do?
Ellie?
Well, this is an improvement.
What?
It can't be real, right?
I don't know. I feel the same.
How far away is the figure again?
Hundreds of feet. You probably don't necessarily understand how far anything is. It's difficult to determine distance. If you've ever been in a place where it's completely flat and no
Michigan.
mountainscape or anything.
Sorry.
Yes, Indiana. I can make that joke too because I understand America really well. The sense of distance is a little distorted and strange. Yeah, probably you at guessing that roughly the canyon here is about 100 feet. The figure is maybe 300, 400 feet away. It's really far away. They look pretty small, but you certainly can recognize who they are. There's a sense of energy coming from that side of the canyon. Yeah.
And what is that?
Is it magic? I don't like this.
What is that? I point to the figure.
Yes. Do you think this is actually what our bones look like? Look at my fingers. They're so slender.
I'm getting very squeamish.
I look at all of them individually. Wait, can I see?
Yeah, you can see.
Wait, can I
It doesn't.
Do I have eyeballs?
It doesn't feel much different, but it looks
Okay.
totally different, even when you look at your own hands.
Okay.
And Bo, I don't think I've quite seen your teeth like this before. Your beard's usually. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Beautiful teeth.
Oh, well, thank you.
Welcome.
I'm just gonna look at each of them. Is there anything suspicious about any of them?
When you say
That's
suspicious,
an
as in
interesting
you-
question.
As in you suspect that they might not be them.
No, not that might. Okay, so I feel like Aura has hunted a lot and dealt with like skeletal remains of animals and things, like to see if there's any
Ooh.
abnormalities or anything like that.
Yeah, you can give me, and you can use your usual sheets for this.
Okay.
When using int, whiz, or charisma, you use your normal sheet. And if we end up
Right.
using strength, dex, or con, we'll use the skeleton sheet, just so you understand how that works, and I'll go
Okay.
through it if we need it, as and when you need it. So your skills, as long as they're an int, whiz, or charisma skill, run from your usual sheet. So give me an investigation check, Aura.
Okay. A 6.
A 6. I think it's not necessarily that you don't understand what's going on, but it doesn't really make any sense. When you look at their bones, it looks like it would actually be their bones. Although 3 of them are pretty much the same. You would have a different skeletal structure in that you would have horns coming out of your skull, and probably tail. I think you have a tail. You have a tail?
Yeah, it's a small tail.
You have a small little tail. So do I.
have
You
played how many episodes with you, and I had no idea you had a tail.
I
Do you
had
hide
the
this tail?
same.
I didn't know you had a
I had
tail.
the
I didn't know
same
you had a
revelation just then. That, yeah, you
I'm
probably
sure the
do.
bones are like,
Do you
I don't
hide
know.
this tail?
yeah.
So
That's
now
why I
I'm
haven't
like,
noticed
for
that
the
I have
first
Are you
time.
wagging
Yeah,
this
now
tail
we
when
see,
you're
yes.
happy?
Are you
Yeah, now-
wagging this tail?
Well, you
Aura
still have
has a
your
tail.
clothing. You still have your clothing on. So if you're still hiding
Yeah.
it like under any clothing that you had on previously, then it would, it would still be hidden technically. So you don't necessarily suddenly see Aura's tail. Everybody just looks. It doesn't look suspicious in the sense that there would be anything wrong. From what you understand of general skeletal structure of whatever Suna is, at least looking human, and half elves, they look pretty much the same. Ellie's arm on the left, which arm is your cursed arm?
Yeah, I think it was the left.
Actually has a strange thing written along the bone. What is this bone called? Forearm bone.
Is it? Yep, that's exactly what it's
Tibia?
called.
Forearm
that's
bone.
exactly-
The wristwatch bone.
Tibia. Isn't it?
Tibia.
Tibia. Tibia.
Oh no.
I'm better at
Chat will
math
tell us.
than I am
100
at the
I don't know anything
bones in
about
our
bones.
body, so.
I think it's the fibula.
A fibula, a defibrillator bone.
No idea.
You see
Google will
something
know.
is written there, carved into it in kind of as if somebody might have etched it into it, whittled it into the bone. But yeah, I don't think you see what it is.
Oh, radius. I should know that. I broke mine.
There you go. I've
Yeah,
never
radius.
broken any big bones.
That's the one that's on top. That's this one right here. I don't know if you can see that. So
Yep.
I don't know where it's written. So there's that one, and then there's this one.
It's on the radius now.
Okay, all right. It's on the radius.
So that's, yeah, you just see something written along there. Other than that, I think nothing suspicious. Nothing suspicious. It seems as if what would be here would be correct, at least. If that answers your question and what you're looking for.
Okay. But I mean, did I really notice anything, or is it so I see that then?
I don't think you well, actually, I guess it depends on whether Ellie's arm is visible.
Oh, okay.
Actually, the long sleeves on your
Yeah,
new
she has
threads.
long sleeves and gloves on. She tries to hide that hand from people.
Then you
So
see nothing, or
Would
at
I
least you see
feel it,
nothing
though?
suspicious. I mean, it's up to you. If you're, I mean, I would imagine that you might do something like pull a sleeve up to see, you know, or just to check.
oh yeah, I think
I
she
was
would
suddenly
totally
like this,
pull a
I'd be
sleeve
like,
and be
"Ah."
like, "Is my hand still like all
Right.
black?"
And,
And then upon seeing obviously skeletal,
yeah,
I think she would. Yeah.
the flesh there is certainly gone and not blackened, but it is, and the bone underneath seems to be the same. But you see the a name written across there that you may or may not recognize, carved in crudely, as if whittled in with a knife, and as if it's been inked with black ink or something like that to make it stand out on the yellow bones of your radius bone. Keris. Felt like that.
That's horrifying.
Well, that's rude. Just carving names into people like that.
What?
Oh, and I like point
That's
to the name that's on my bone.
Sorry, can you flip your arm? Can you move your arm? I'm trying to read it upside down, I think.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
There you go. Sorry.
Keris? What the hell is that? Do we know what that is?
Can't say I do.
Nah, me either.
Did I read about it ever, Brad?
I think only Ellie knows and
Yep.
suspects.
I have no idea what that is. Perhaps it's the name of the spell of the curse.
It's from a weird dream I had.
What? What do you mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I had this dream, like this, about clerics and soldiers, and someone kept shouting this name right here, Keris, over and over.
Maybe it's the name of the witch who put the curse on you.
But why would she curse me? I'm not a cleric or a soldier.
Well, I don't know. How did you get it?
How'd I get the curse?
Yes.
I mean, I have a feeling we got the curse while we were in Dustville. That's when Bobo over here went on the no lying spree.
Well, I wasn't lying because I wanted to, but, well, how was it that your curse ended up being far more worse than mine?
Maybe it's because I got a little too greedy. Yeah, we'll just chalk it up to that.
So you stole something?
Oh, you didn't know about that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Right. Yeah. No, we look at Bobo.
Okay, well, whoever you
I guess
stole
it's
it from.
confession time.
Well,
Yes.
to be fair, we did give some. Well, we tried to give some back, but I will say this: I did keep the fire arrows, and they did come in handy. I don't regret that.
Where did you get fire arrows? What did you steal?
And I look around like we're in the land of the dead. We got a god of death behind us. I think we should maybe discuss this,
All right. Well, I'm not mad. I'm just flabbergasted. When did you find time to steal fire arrows? And well, it has something to do with whatever's on your arm there.
Oh, well, I don't know if you remember that very nice fella.
No, Bobo, at that.
Okay, all right.
Land of the dead.
Okay.
Death God, right there.
Okay.
This should be our focus. And
okay, well, afterwards, whoever you stole from.
Right now, I look back at Merkel, and I'm just like,
well, and whoever you, perhaps that's the answer. We can just go back to whoever you stole it from, apologize, and they can take the curse off.
No, the curse is done. The curse is done. Even your mother said that it's not likely I can get changed back.
Well, at least we can know more information.
All of them. Like, it's not likely. I can hunt down the witch, but I don't know if I'll ever get changed back.
Well, I think we learned a valuable lesson.
Don't steal magic items from a shopkeeper. Right. Okay. And I walk away.
A shopkeeper?
I just walk away. I don't stop. I start walking towards the god of death.
Because you stole arrows from a shopkeeper?
You stole those?
I keep walking. I'm walking towards Merkel.
There's not too far for you to walk because there is a literal Grand Canyon. And as you get to the edge of it, look down, it is just a bottomless pit, really. And you can see the smoke and the darkness kind of moving, right? You can see it kind of moving like dry ice might over the edge of a table or that kind of a situation as it falls into this thing. Eventually, there is nothing but darkness down there. You don't see a bottom. You don't see any lights down there or any. You don't hear any sounds coming up from it. And honestly, there really isn't a lot of sound other than there is a sense of. There is a small sense of maybe a wind. There's like a light breeze almost that seems to just be pushing the smoke around, but it doesn't seem to be going in any one direction. Every time you feel like the wind is going, in front of you, since you don't have a northeast southwest, it maybe feels more like it's hitting you in the face, and then when you turn around, it continues to. It's a strange sensation, but there is no sounds really here, no wildlife, no ambient noises of a town in the distance, or the whistling of insects or anything like that. And you certainly don't get this. You get the sense looking down into this abyss that it truly is an abyss. And it's
such
about
a nice
100 feet across.
Can I do an investigation check?
What?
I want to investigate I don't know if it's investigation or something, but I want to see if Ellie would have an inkling as to what the god of death is up to, because she knows that she's being tested by him, and she knows like, oh, you're supposed to take my spot, but now she's just like, okay, now we're skeletons. You've stripped us of our powers, like, what is this?
Yeah, I don't know if there's an investigation check to be made. But you certainly, and I think maybe all of you actually feel it. You feel that there's like a pull to the other side of the to the other side of this canyon, to the other side of this abyss, towards.
Wait, to like jump in it or over it, to go to the other like.
To go
landing.
To Merkel.
Oh right, okay.
It's your only direction.
No, thank you.
And you get the sense that he is waiting for you.
Oh well, that's lovely.
Right.
He can wait a little bit longer.
And again, sorry, how long across is the abyss?
Roughly around 100 feet.
100 feet.
Across.
Okay.
Pretty far.
And then he's about maybe 400 feet or something.
Yeah, he's far enough away that you can see him, but too far to make out, any detail or anything like that. And
okay.
Also, by the way, like, I'm just gendering him because I'm a boy. But you, Ellie, when you interacted with him, I don't think you would have had a sensation of anything like that. He feels like a lot more than just like an individual. And when you face that creature, the Lost, And you all got the sensation that it was the amalgamation of many different things being forced together into a single entity, and it created that kind of abomination. Yeah, I think Merkel feels like a more divine and pristine version of that, as if he isn't really just one, but many. Yeah, but you get that sensation, however you want that to present itself to you. Doesn't feel like just like a dude over there giving you the peace sign, but feels like a presence and an energy that is simply manifesting as a humanoid from this current cycle's skeletal form.
Such a nice man. I don't know why you would have stolen from him. I mean, he did such, and the drinks, and he offered.
Do you guys not feel that?
Feel what? The crushing disappointment?
No, that's old news.
Because I do.
I'm used to that. Do you not feel like he's trying to get us over there? It's like we need to go towards him?
Is he a good guy?
He's a god of death. I don't think he's a good or bad guy.
Well, he certainly doesn't look neutral over there, just looming, waiting.
I don't know if he wants anything to do with us. I think it's just you, Ellie, so
I don't know. I feel the pull a little bit too, actually, now that you mention it.
Yeah.
I was expecting we would just, fight ghosts or whatever and then leave. Why is this still going on? Do skeleton people mean anything to you, Ellie? It's been in your dreams or anything?
No. I don't particularly, swoon over fleshless creatures,
Brad, do I not feel as powerful even though I feel the same? Like I feel like I don't have my spells.
That's I have as well.
Yeah, you definitely feel
the difference.
The difference, yeah, and it would be relative to each of you, however you feel. Especially the three casters would have that sensation of either some sort of restriction or change. Maybe it's the same as you would feel when you're out of energy and unable to cast plenty of spells. But whatever it is, you certainly don't feel that full access. And also, there's probably just areas of new information. Like you have this sword on your hip in this old-looking scabbard that's so worn it doesn't even have an insignia on it. These kind of chipped and worn short swords on your hips. You get the sense that you understand how to wield that correctly, but it's certainly a borrowed feeling for some of you. Sooner mostly probably, but I think.
Yeah, I don't know how to use one of those at all.
Yeah, I can't remember if Bo can.
I just don't feel quite as I don't know. The same?
Yes, me too. I feel weird. I feel strange.
Are you sure it's not the.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's strange, but oddly enough, I physically feel the same. Like when I close my hand, it feels like there's skin there. But
I don't feel any different. And I turn around and look at Merkel again. Because, I mean, Ellie's already, she's already lifeless. So, just I just don't feel much of a difference right now.
And I look at Aura. I don't feel as strong as I used to.
I feel like I can't, like that thing you feel inside, it's like a little fire when you spell casting. I feel like it's dim.
Yes, mine too. And the other one is gone completely. The one that we got in the time thing.
I flip over my skeletal hand to see if the hourglass is in my bone, essentially.
What spell did you bring?
Pass Without Trace, so not my chronomancy.
Yeah, then no.
I don't have mine either.
I try to cast. I know I can't say it. Thaumaturgy.
Gotcha.
Okay, I'm gonna, after stream today, I will say it like 10 times so I can get it down. I'm gonna try to just cast is this the one with Mage Hand?
Nope, mage hand, someone with mage hand. This is the one that lets you do a small little thing. Just it's like a harmless little change in something around you usually.
Well, the first thing I saw on here is Cry of Ravens, of a raven. So I'm going to just try to cast that.
You want to try and crow like a raven?
Well, I could throw, I want to like see if I can make a sound like a raven.
Yeah. Yeah, and you maybe have done this plenty of times. You might have even used it in hunting and stuff like that. However, you brought with you Pass Without Trace, so you attempt to do this, and the spell doesn't happen. I don't know if that means you do like a crap impersonation of a raven, or whether it's just that it doesn't happen for you, but essentially, in terms of the cantrip itself, it doesn't activate. So whatever you're used to doing, and however you.
I love the idea of a skeletal aura starting to try and make crow noises, and then all of us just turning around and going, "What the hell?"
Yeah, I'd be standing there because I've done this when I've been in the forest a lot, and so Caw! And I realize it doesn't sound like it should. And I look over at Suna.
Are you all right?
Are you turning into a bird now? That's actually good.
No, I do this when I'm hunting sometimes. It's supposed to sound better than that.
You scream out randomly?
Wait a minute. I try to cast a cantrip, like a fireball, out into the abyss.
Yeah, nothing.
And I'm assuming nothing happens.
Yep.
I try to detect anything about this abyss. Like, is there any like invisible like thing to step on? Like testing out like anything in front of me.
You just put out a leg?
Yeah, I think I would like put out a leg and tap down with a foot.
No, there's nothing. Your leg goes down, and then you test it a little too much and wobble, and then lean back. There's certainly no. It doesn't seem like where you put your leg, at least, that there was an invisible bridge or anything like that.
Anyone got any flying powers I don't know about?
I mean, I feel light as air now. I lost my gut, so if you want to toss me on over, I'd be willing.
I walk up and grab Bo.
Oh, okay, I was just kidding. I was kidding.
Oh, well, you can't say that. I'm not really good with jokes, okay?
Right, I sorry. Forgot you don't got your funny bone anymore. No.
Okay, I'm really gonna throw
very inappropriate. No, it's not. It's not appropriate.
I think I would look up and I'd be like, "What?" I would just be talking to Myrtle like, "What? You're gonna take away our powers? What are you trying to show me, man?"
There's no response. The figure just stands there. You can see from here that the wispy kind of robe that is over Merkel is not made of a fabric. It seems to be made partially out of the shadow and smoke from the ground, and it just kind of moves with this light breeze. It's really the only movement you can determine from over there. There's no voice, no sound, no doesn't wave at you or anything like that to answer you.
Well, I can't decide what's more terrifying. If he had responded, or if, just that, standing
he's not
there.
that bad. It's not it's a god of death. It's a lot more than just a.
Oh.
Ellie's clearly not scared.
Just a god, no big deal. All right.
He's a god of death.
He said. Sure.
He talked to me earlier. It was fine.
Well, that's you. I'd prefer to keep our communication very limited, if you know what I'm saying.
I'd like to find out what he's planning. I would look around. There's nothing around us that we like? What's around us? Are there any bones or are there skeletons?
Well, you can't really see your feet. Probably maybe a third of the way up your shin is where this smoke and shadow comes up to. So you don't actually see anything underfoot, but as you've walked along, you haven't felt anything, at least. The tower that was around you, any of the remnants of the sort of castle and things like that dissolved again into that kind of dust and fell into the shadow along with your flesh and skin as it melted off of your and fell into that shadow and smoke on the ground, and you there's nothing now. The image here betrays kind of a little more than there is. There really isn't anything like that now. It's pretty much just a flat landscape. You can see a few dancing lights in the very far distance every now and then. There are these kind of larger orbs that seem similar to maybe a couple of moons that move around above you and provide a very light blue glow to the area, but nothing at all apart from now this great big canyon in the ground, Merkel in the very distance, and you guys.
I think...
Yeah, go on.
Sorry.
No.
I thought you were done. I'm so sorry. Please continue.
That's it.
Shit.
If skeletons are we similar to a skeleton that, like, if he turned us into these, is he the spellcaster of sorts? Like, we're kind of bound to him? Is that why we feel like we're pulled to him?
I don't think we would know that.
I mean, you can give me Arcana checks, all of you, if you want to try and determine a magical origin to this. It's a very high spell
11
DC. 11, 19. Anyone else trying? Anyone else curious?
I'll try.
Just to see if you...
I have to admit, I am a little bit curious.
If anything stands out to you from any arcane training or stories or anything you might have heard in the past, or even just an understanding. So Una, 11, Aura 2, Bode 9. It sort of doesn't make sense. All of you three are able to cast magic, and yet it doesn't really resonate with anything that you understand.
Right.
It's it doesn't even fully feel like magic in the way that you can go, haha, it's an illusion. There is an element to this. Right, there's an element to this that feels outside of even the schools of magic. It could be something more on the divinity side of things, in the sense not of divination magic necessarily, but of the sense that clerical or paladin magic might come from, holy magic, that kind of thing. But really, it just feels like an odd blend of some magic and power and reality. Ellie, you get a little more from this, and I think really all you pick up on, even on a 19, is the sense that when you were in your boundary where the four of you were resting, that kind of place that felt safe to you, that understanding that you had that place was yours and manifested by the four of you to create kind of your own plane, your own personal plane of existence. This, to you, seems as if it's Merkel's. Merkel has the same sense about this place as you have about your boundary. Whatever slight insight you have with your interaction with Merkel, or the fact that you brought people here, you get the sense that this is his playroom, this is his place, and that he rules it absolutely and understands it, and has such complete dominion and control over it that to a degree he can do what he wants. So it's not necessarily an illusion the way you look, even though it kind of is, but it's also how you look right now because he wills it. You also, I think, probably maybe get the sense that given enough time, you would have the same level of control over your boundary between the four of you. In that, not that you could turn it into an endless Shadowfell-like place, but that you could control it in the same way that he is able to. So that, I think, is what you understand, Ellie. The other three just feels like a strange blend of some sort of magic and reality to you for now. But it certainly doesn't fall to any rules that make sense. A scholar or a wizard might be just as confused here as you are.
It's so strange because it's not transmutation. I mean, normally I would feel like the skeletal part, but I still feel like myself. I just feel odd. It's like nothing I've ever seen.
I think Ellie would space out for a bit while Suna and Oren, you guys are talking about it. But then I think eventually she'd turn around and interrupt you and say, it's because it's his. We're in his plane of existence. This is him doing this. It's got to be him doing this.
All right. Well, then, what do you propose?
Well, he's not answering me.
All. Well, I don't think he usually, takes callers. He's the one that does the calling, right?
Yeah, I got that much. I want to turn around and try to use Echo Eye.
On who?
On him.
Oh, okay.
On Merkel.
Okay.
Can I? Is he too far away?
There is no range on this. You just have to have a line of sight. So.
Oh.
Yeah, as long as you have line of sight, which you do, which I didn't put in the text there, but there's the rule. Then yeah, you can do it. You don't have any eyeballs as far as the others are concerned, but one of your eye sockets does begin to bleed, and it's very strange looking, I think, for the other three that see blood now running out of one of these eye sockets and running down the side of your face. And let's see here. First of
That's
all,
pretty metal. I'm not gonna lie.
you look like a
bleeding skull.
Exactly like the tattoo I wanted when I was probably about 15, and would still get now. Let's be honest. So, as this blood begins to run down your eye, all of you hear the voice of Merkel speaking to you. You hear it, I think, both inside your minds, as if you're hearing it through your ears, as if it's coming from Merkel, and as if it's coming from the shadow and stuff around you. Merkel says, almost as soon as you activate this thing and that blood begins to run down your skull, he says,
"You are here to take the throne, but it is a responsibility you underestimate. Turn from it. Soon your world will perish. What you see before you is the result of 500 million souls who have passed through me and moved on. The animals, plants, the very essence of the land itself must die. It is the end of the cycle, and these are what remain."
Nothing around you changes. The figure of Merkel remains in the distance.
Oh, well. Did he say 500 million? That's quite a lot.
I turn around. I have the one bloody, side of the skull.
Oh my. Ellie, I believe, something's happened to you?
Yeah.
Are you alright?
I think that's why You heard him, right?
Oh yes. The 500 million keeps echoing into my empty skull.
You think that we have to die?
Oh yes, I'm sure. Now?
I don't want to die.
I mean, but it sounds like he wants us to cross over.
Oh yes, just leap over into the pit, into the abyss.
I mean, yeah.
No. No, thank you.
Oh, what's in it for us?
We are. I mean, in the plane of a god of death. I mean, he's right there.
Right.
He wants us to die.
But
you would have done it by now.
I don't think he's talking to us. Right? He says you are here to take over.
Oh,
so it's your door after all.
So, okay, fine. I'll walk off.
Well, I mean, that might be a little too soon to. And I reach out and try to stop her from walking off the fucking cliff.
It's probably not too hard to stop.
What will happen or become of you after if you decide to do this?
We just need to talk this through a little bit, and all be on the same page, and then we make a decision, and then we act on that decision together, right?
Think about it though. If he wants me to take over, and I mean,
well, do you want to take over?
He's dead, probably, or not living, or he's a god.
Well, he feels like multiple
Yeah, I agree. I don't know how to describe it, honestly.
Like the 500 million souls, maybe. You know?
Yeah, I'm gonna need to collect more souls to keep up, but we'll get to that later.
What?
At this point, I'd be looking around while they're talking to see if there's an exit.
There isn't like a Truman Show door or a sign that says exit, or
That's unfortunate.
or anything that necessarily feels like an exit. I mean, if you're in a wide open field, which way is the exit?
Is there
Anywhere but here.
Yeah, is there like any way, like a path or anything that looks like it leads away from where Merkel is?
Not really. In the extreme distance, it's just very dark, as if you're looking out across an ocean at night. It doesn't necessarily mean there isn't something there, but you certainly can't see anything that resembles something, even a mountainscape or a city in the distance, or even a ruin. Really, you just see yourselves, this huge crevasse, and Merkel in the distance, but yeah, where you are and what there is pretty barren.
Okay.
Well, unfortunately, I can't, levitate us or anything of the sort, so, I think our options here are quite limited.
I take out my short bow and fire an arrow at him.
Oh, dear.
All right, give me an attack roll.
So much for we all talk about it together and then act on as a group, and there she goes. All right.
Yes. Let's see here. What the hell is the range on a short bow? Let me remind myself.
I think I have to roll with disadvantage, don't I?
I don't even know if it makes it. Let me just double check.
320 is the max range, according to the skeleton sheet.
All right, roll it with disadvantage. Yeah, give me another roll.
Okay. 16.
19. 16. Sorry, the disadvantage. You fire an arrow, and you do the thing where you fire it up, right, so that it arcs, and you aim this thing, and it flies true. This arrow launches into the sky. All of you can see it fly through the air. It launches over this canyon and flies down towards where Merkel is. As the arrow is about to strike the area where Merkel is, the form that is Merkel falls into smoke and disappears. As the arrow hits the ground, you see that also disappear into the smoke. Merkel appears to be gone, but you hear Merkel speak as the arrow disappears into the smoke there.
Cross the divide. You are the last alive. Give yourself to death.
See, I told you he wants us to die. See, firing that arrow got him to talk.
I'm not doing that. No. I have too much to do still yet, like save the world and kill a different god, and
I step off the cliff.
Holy shit!
I mean, are we really surprised though? She does this all the time.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
She's gone as well, by the way. She just she just vanishes.
Ellie!
It should be fine, right?
Ellie!
I mean, it's her god.
I didn't hear.
This is really bad. Ellie!
I mean, there's nowhere for us to go. I mean, I guess that the choice was that
we are not jumping off this cliff.
Well, I'm not, but maybe she'll fix it and then we can leave, or she'll come back as a human.
But what if this is the only way?
This cannot be the only way. There's always another option. I refuse.
Well, I refuse to leave her alone down there, so as much as I peered down the endless darkness abyss.
Do you see anything?
No, I see nothing but darkness.
What about over there, across the way?
Nope, there's nothing there either. There is.
Shit.
I am just. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just.
No, Bo, don't.
Can I look over the edge?
Do this.
I'll put my hand out in front of Bo, like, you know what a mom does when you're in a car and it's.
Oh, I'm right there with that. Yes. Please do not do that, Bo.
Yep.
And I'm gonna crawl to the edge. I'm gonna like get down and I'm gonna crawl and I'm gonna look over and see if I can see Ellie down there.
You see nothing. Just blackness.
Maybe we should drop something and.
I mean, she fell. We would have heard her by now.
Oh God.
What if she's still falling? Like, think about that.
Oh my God.
Her bones will shatter if she hits the ground.
Oh, let's make that. God, you're gonna make me gag. Okay, breathe.
I mean, it's just why? Okay, I have a sword, right? You said I had a sword.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the sword out, but I'm gonna take the belt off and I'm gonna throw the belt. I'm gonna hold the sword, and throw the belt thing over the side.
All right.
Yeah, it goes. It probably drops about 3 feet below where the edge of the smoke is pouring off of the edge of it before it seems to disappear into that darkness. There is no sound that comes up at any point.
Oh no, that's not good.
Is Merkel still there?
Nope.
Oh, and there's nothing over there. You know, Ellie hasn't materialized onto that side.
Nope, nothing.
He said to cross the divide, not plunge into it.
But what if he meant doing this to cross?
Well, I don't want to take over and rule the realm of death. I want
neither
no
do
part of
I.
it at all. So I'm not plunging myself forward into an abyss.
How big of a gap is it, Brad?
100 feet, probably over there. There's no way we can jump it or cross it, and if I can't use my magic to levitate, I feel so helpless. This is terrible.
I think we all do right now, and I don't know.
Around? Is there anything we can use to build a bridge?
Not really.
Damn.
Not anything.
There's
that you
no
see.
water around me. I can't do anything.
This is the worst feeling.
Well, we don't have a choice. We're essentially skeletons right now.
Yeah, maybe when we fall, we won't feel a thing. I'm just trying to make us feel a little better.
I can't see if it's safe or not because I don't have any of what I normally have. So, I mean, I don't know what other choice we have.
Just to wait.
But what? For what? We gotta go.
I will wait till the appropriate time it is to die rather than plunging headfirst into it. Thank you very much.
But what if we all?
What happens?
What if we all go in together? We all hold hands and we jump at the same time.
Oh, right, a suicide pact.
No, it's not that. I mean,
well, that's essentially what you're proposing. We don't know what's down there. We don't know what's going to happen.
Who's to say we will? You know, if we do jump, who's to say we will die?
Well, we are in the realm of the dead. He essentially told us to cross over. I'm not ready for that.
Oh, okay.
If we do this and we die, what will my kids think? I can't just plunge. I cannot do that. I'm sorry.
I had a moment where I thought we could take our body parts and put them together to get across, but I think that's a bad idea.
We probably wouldn't have enough.
I don't think that's what. That's
make like
maybe not a bad idea, but
bone rope.
A bone rope? I mean, you could have my. This is awkward.
Wait, we could take our clothes,
left
maybe
arm.
tie it together and make a rope without bones, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Let's try that. Try that.
I'm gonna take all my clothes off and I'm gonna start tying them together.
Whoa, okay, all right. Well, tell me first. I am.
Can you not? I'm not showing anything off.
There's no fleshy
bone.
bits.
There's no fleshy bits.
Bone.
Still, I respect you. I
promise
you're
it's
right.
okay, but you don't need to worry about it.
There is a tail.
Does it wag?
What?
How does the
Oh God,
tail look?
I don't.
You have a tail?
I feel like it's right where your tailbone's supposed to be, and there's just like a little bone that comes out, because normally it's flesh for the end, like cartilage, but there's just like a little stump.
Yeah, like a chihuahua tail.
What?
Just sticking off.
Aura, I never knew you had a tail.
Things do. I just tuck it away.
How fun is that?
I mean, it's fine, but some people stare, so that's why I tuck it in.
Yeah, I will try very hard not to stare.
I'm staring.
I'm staring as well. I'm sorry. It's so cool.
I see them staring, and so I'm just like, I put my hand on it and then just go back to tying. Trying to tie it, realize I can't, and then take my hand off the tail and just go, it's what it is. And then I start tying my clothes together.
Well, all right. Bo, turn around. You're going to have a heart attack.
Oh, what?
I'm taking my clothes off.
Oh, I mean...
Oh, I thought you had a tail as well.
I mean, I'll take mine off too, because, well, we're going to need everything, right? Everything that we've got.
Right.
I start undressing too.
All right. I'm handing, this is odd. Like, look, this is what I look like underneath my flesh, and that's strange.
Oh, just keep in mind, we might be naked if we do get our skin back, so...
I wouldn't mind. What?
Okay. Don't make it weird, Bo.
Sorry, I'm a man!
We have very limited options right now, so just like, let's tie this together, and like maybe we can lower, one of us can go down and see what's down there and do some
I don't know if down is the way to go. Like, we haven't heard anything yet. That it seems like it goes on forever. Perhaps across is the better option.
I guess we could try across, and then if we can't make that, we can always go down slower than jumping.
Right.
So once we get all this stuff tied together, I'm going to try to throw it across the gap.
Right. How should we do that? Because
I'm going to tie my sword to the end of it, and if there's some rocks on the other side, I can try to aim to hook it on.
Yeah, I feel like there's no way you can make 100 feet worth of clothing rope
just to humor us
with a sword. But
I'm still gonna try.
So she
yeah,
just
you
lunges
can make
the sword, and surprisingly, it like goes 10 feet and then just falls.
like one of those classic, like in every Nickelodeon show where they make a thing that goes down from their bedroom to escape at night or whatever, right? Like one of those makeshift kind of tied together rope thingies, and you tie the short sword to the end of it, and then swing it a little, and then throw it like a grappling thing. It goes
like
it goes like nowhere near as far as you need it to go, and then just sinks into the darkness. It falls. You do hear it clatter against something though, as if it ding 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 ding. It hits the side of the wall of this thing below you, and it's hanging down. But after about 3 feet of this makeshift rope, it is in darkness. You can't see what is beyond there.
I thought it might be an illusion. Maybe it was closer than
right.
It actually is.
Well,
I'll go down. I'll climb down and see what I can
really
find.
don't want
all
you to
go
do
down
that, or Bo.
Well, just if you hold
I just don't want you rushing head first into the arms of death or whatever.
You could pull me back up if I scream.
All right.
So I'm gonna pull it back up. I'm gonna take obviously the sword off of it and give the end to Bo and Suna, and start making my way down the side.
Okay. Who wants to make the strength check
Oh god.
to hold the end of the rope that Aura's climbing down? Okay.
No.
You both have to use the skeleton sheet.
Okay.
And you can click on the STR on the left. But you will have advantage because there's two of you doing it, but it's just whoever wants to be the one to click the button.
Oh, do you want to do it, Bo?
Yeah, I feel I should, but
then go with your gut.
Okay.
Go for it.
But I don't have a gut.
All right, on the skeleton. There it is, 14. Let me roll a completely randomized dice to determine whether you fail or don't fail.
Oh god.
Wow, that's a 13. Yeah, you hold the rope. The two of you move forward. You realize that you feel oddly weak. But luckily, skeletal aura is much lighter than usual as the two of you are dragged forward a little bit And Aura, you find purchase and then begin to lower yourself down into this thing. You're going down as far as it will go.
Yeah.
Kind of abseiling down the side of this thing. For the two of you on the top, you see her go down. After about 3 feet, she disappears into the darkness.
But you can hear,
you can hear her feet and you can hear her speaking as she moves down into this darkness.
Aura, are you still there?
I'm still here. It's just.
Right. Can you see anything?
Can I see anything, Brad?
You can see the smoke running down the side, and as you get further down, you can see the end of the rope. Eventually, you come down to the bottom part where the sword is hanging, swinging in this kind of smoke. Every now and then, it comes out of the smoke, and you can pull the rope forward, and you can see like whatever it is, your cloak or something like that. And as you get to the bottom of the sword, you can feel now that you are quite you're at the end of the rope.
Can I lower my legs to see if I can touch anything besides the wall?
Yeah, you reach your legs down and feel nothing.
There's like nothing down here but darkness.
Right, well, that's apropos. Would you want to come back up now?
It's like smoke. I'm gonna try like putting my hand out and like pushing it around. And I want to look at my hand. I want to bring my hand super close to my face after I do that.
Okay. Give me a dexterity off of the skeleton. Roll.
No. Oh,
Taking an arm off of this thing. Let me roll a completely random dice to determine whether you succeed or not. You take an arm off of it. For the two of you above, there is a sound of the sword clattering against the side of the wall here. And I think it's probably quite a jolt for you. Both of you give me strength checks, actually, because suddenly the weight is gone from the end of this.
8.
8. 18. Let's determine how bad that is.
Don't leave me here.
Bow. Not bad. And for Suna, not bad. The two of you fall suddenly backwards. Dung, dung, your bony pelvic muscle hitting the ground. Your legs disappearing in that smoke, kinda. And the sensation of the weight on the end of that just gone.
Aura! Oh God! Aura! Aura!
Aura,
oh no!
You are no longer on the end of the rope.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Suna, Suna, breathe.
Oh, no.
Breathe.
This is terrible.
I know. I think there's only one thing left to do.
No.
Yes. But Suna, and I take her by the shoulders. We are going together. I'm not going to let go. I promise. Trust me.
I'm scared.
I am too. But our friends are down there.
All right.
I slowly wrap an arm around her.
Okay.
And guide Suna towards the edge. Holding her very tightly.
Are you gonna count?
Yes. Gonna count to 3.
I'm not ready.
Neither am I, but we're going together. Whatever comes, we're in it together.
Right. Come with me.
1, 2.
2, 3.
And they fall off of the edge and into that darkness. There is a voice that speaks and says,
"You need no longer fear your mortality. Death has always been on the horizon, but no longer."
And that is where we're going to go to a short break here. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back in a few minutes to see where they ended up Ooh.
Clearly, Ellie would go to heaven.
That's correct. Welcome back, everybody, to part 2. So, the 4 of you, one way or the other, take the plunge here. Aura, you have the sensation of falling off of this thing. You take an arm off of the rope here, just so able to trust in your usual sense of strength and agility, and you're just a set of bones, and that sudden weakness in your left arm gives way, and you slip and you fall for half a second before all 4 of you, after each of your falls, feel the same feeling. A falling sensation for a moment, giving way to the sensation now of climbing upwards. You fall for a moment before you begin to feel like you're surfacing for a second up, maybe falling upwards or surfacing to water, to the top of water before we all see just a pile of bones on the ground. The mist and shadow very low now. We're able to see these rocks and stones. That same kind of idea of a broken castle almost around this landscape of kind of cracked and aged soil, mountains in the distance, but the lights that flicker and dance in the distance remain. All of these bones are all kind of scattered. Around the bones are various items that we might recognize from the characters, some of their clothing not tied, but also these new things. One of the swords partially scabbarded, fallen, and just surrounded by bones, and 4 skulls at the center of them. As you feel the sensation of falling replaced suddenly by the sensation of surfacing, you do surface. You feel that sensation of breaking through the top here, and we see these bones coming together and forming into a skeleton once more. Bo, roll me a D20.
$17.
You reform first, but you have 2 pelvises. One pelvis caught in the pelvis of someone else.
What?
The other sets of bones coalesce now into 4 other sets of bones, and it's the same skeletal forms that you each took at the top here, but the clothing and items that you had are scattered. We can see the form of Aura begin to form. We see the form of Suuna begin to form, and we can make them out based on the wisps of hair or the horns. Ellie has the name imprinted kind of on one of the bones. But Ellie, you are missing a pelvis, and you only form the top half of you, and your legs remain scattered. There is another pelvis caught in Bo's skeletal form. All of your items that you had at the top, basically just clothing, a short bow each, a few quivers and some arrows, and a scabbarded sword, are around you as well. What do you guys do? Find yourself surrounded by walls as well, by the way. Almost as if you're in a castle courtyard, but a crumbling ancient ruin of one.
Hey, I need that. I point to Bo.
Well, I have both my hands covering my, well, I need to, first, grab some things of mine. I'm a little vulnerable.
Too much information. I need that specifically. As you can see, I'm kind of, half-assing, getting back together.
Okay, I remove one hand, from hiding, and I reach to give it to Ellie.
Take it?
Yeah.
Yeah, as you do so, do you fit it in place? As if you're trying to wear it? What do you do?
I try to fit it like...
Yeah, and as you do so, your legs come together and form at the bottom of the pelvis here, and you're able to stand back up.
Well, this is a first. Look around at everybody.
I'm quietly putting my clothes back on.
Same.
I can't say I'm being quiet, but I'm definitely in a panic, but also putting my clothes back on.
I am completely just a skeleton looking around. What do I like seeing?
Yeah, your bloodied eye is no longer bleeding. There is no blood stain, and your echo eye has replenished. You look around and see. In fact, give me a perception check.
Okay.
For what you also hear.
Is it off my sheet or a skeleton's?
Perception check will be off your sheet.
Okay.
Lucky you.
13.
13. You can hear the sounds of other skeletal noises around you. You can hear the sounds of these guys like shifting, that kind of bone-on-bone kind of sound as the
grinding
as they shift their bodies around to put this clothing on. And as you move around, you suddenly hear a kind of dragging sound, and the sound that there might be that kind of familiar sound of skeletons, which I did have prepared, but my GoXLR is not playing the sound, so now you have to imagine it moving around where you are.
Just reload the profile. It should work. No. All right.
The skeletons, there appear to be more than just skeletal U4 around. One as close to you as on the, and we're going to go northeast southwest here, on the wall to your left, you can hear a skeleton shuffling around, bones scraping against other bones. Now, let me give you...
Oh my god.
...the light. Can you see?
Yes.
Good.
It's horrific.
I don't see anything.
Alright. I'm amazed that Phoebe can see, actually. I'm impressed.
Sorry.
No, it's good.
I can pretend like I didn't see it.
It's all good. I'll tell you what I'll just do. I'll do this, and I'll do this, and I'll do this, and I'll do this. Now, do you all see if I do this?
I see it, yeah.
Yep, I see.
So, you are all Magic the Gathering skeletons.
I'm putting my clothes on now when I hear this, by the way.
Yeah. There are 4 walls around you, but there are openings in 3 directions. They're just broken walls. You get the sense again, this looks like a classic kind of old castle ruin. There are plenty of these all around wherever each of your characters are from, and plenty in that you've been relatively well traveled. The smoky kind of dusty ground remains, but it's not quite coming up as high as it was. You can see the tops of your skeletal feet now, and you can hear skeletons moving around you in this area. Each of you get dressed, and we can assume that you're all now dressed, and you each have a sword and a short bow and a few arrows. What do you do?
Oh boy. I'm gonna kind of like walk kind of near it and see if I can't see anything.
Yeah. Feel free to move your tokens around. You have
yeah, I did. I moved mine.
Versions of each of you. As each of you move about, give me a dexterity check, skeleton Ellie, since you have to do it from the skeleton button. That is your stealth check. Welcome.
Oh, Okay.
Being a stealthy skeleton. Yeah, you move up to the edge here, and I'm just going to move you around this corner just enough to be able to see a skeleton. And as you peer your own skull around the corner, you see a skeleton dressed in old-looking armor, ancient-looking armor, a ragged kind of red cape hanging down off of one shoulder, weapons that look even older than the scabbarded, poor ancient weapons that you've already got on you as well. There is a kind of lopsided helm and a set of chainmail that's kind of splintered and broken, hanging off of this skeleton. They're dragging their sword along next to them, but just kind of moving in circles. And you can see them; they do not seem to see you at all, even as they kind of move in a circle around the center of this this blade. The blade is dragging against the ground, but you can't see the tip of it. But you can see that this skeleton is just moving in circles. And again, kind of really like old school looking armor, with no real insignia on it or anything that you can determine who these people are or what's going on. But a skeleton.
Can I determine if they seem hostile, or do I have to engage them?
I don't think you have any idea whether they're hostile or not. You can determine that it hasn't seen you yet, at least.
Okay.
It definitely didn't seem to, and quote, air quotes, lock eyes with you.
I turn back to Una and Aura, and I immediately bring up one skeletal finger to where my lips would be.
I nod.
And I point like in the direction of Does that make any sense? And I would bring out my short bow.
I would hold my sword and just kind of ready myself and like kind of pseudo crouch behind her to follow her wherever she's going. That's how I interpreted what she was saying.
Yeah.
Or miming.
Right.
You can put yourselves on the battle map wherever you want.
I'll look over at Bo and gesture, and then point to the bow or the sword.
I then nod to Suna and make my way very quietly towards him.
All right. Points to herself. She does a kind of hand.
Yeah, and then I
whisper
I go around the corner and I'm like, "Hey there," with the bow in hand and everything.
You say, "Hey there." The skeletal figure dragging at the sword suddenly snaps to attention and turns around to you. Now, what you end up getting is a kind of dual sensation. There is a moment where all four of you hear Ellie say, "Hey there," but you also hear Ellie kind of just say, "Knock, knock."
Oh, God.
The skeletal figure that you see turns around. All of the cape and everything kind of swings around it. It moves its arms awkwardly and shifts towards you. Its head lopsided and barely attached to the top of its spine. It says, "Knock, knock," back. But at the same time, you also hear, "Who goes there?" The figure manifests for a moment a kind of ghostly look to them. A human in resplendent armor. The chain mail that was broken suddenly for a moment to you, Ellie, appears full and complete. An insignia of a rose on the front of this armor, the cape red and gleaming in the little light that there is. The sword full now and complete, still an old-looking blade, but now no longer rusted and chipped. And he turns to you, a wide-eyed look with the flesh that appears over his face for a moment before it disappears. And I need you all to roll me initiative. So just roll me a dex check is going to be the quickest way to do this, and I'll add everyone to the thing.
From the skeleton sheet, right?
From the skeleton sheet, give me numbers. Shout numbers at me.
11.
18.
Wow.
16.
All of the skeletons on the map around you, of which you only see one, are going on a 2. You people are going on. So you said a 14 for Ellie. Bo was 13. Aura was 18, did you say?
Yes.
And Una was 16.
Right.
And I think you'd hear Ellie go, not good. This is not good. This is not good. He's not good. And start to back up.
Yeah, the figure brings their sword up, and for you, like, there's again this, Ellie, you see two things at once. You see a skeleton kind of awkwardly shifted sword up and kind of wobble a little on its skeletal legs. But you also see a man with flesh and bone bring his sword up in a guarded pose as he shouts, and for a moment you catch the beginning of a sentence as he shouts outwards. But it kind of disappears at the same time as he says, "The undead, they're here!" And then it is gone as it's just replaced with this skeleton going and just kind of not really saying anything, and bones and broken teeth smashing against broken teeth. The first person to react
We're undead.
is Skeleton Aura.
What?
What do you want to do? Now,
are we attacking people?
only have what's available on your skeleton sheet.
Okay.
Sorry.
So wait, all I see is this one, or no, I don't even see it. So I'm gonna move out behind Ellie.
Yeah, I would have pointed and said, this guy's not good.
Yeah,
Okay.
but all I heard him say was, "Who goes there?"
Yeah.
And then we're the undead. The undead are here. What?
So I'm gonna walk 15 feet over behind Ellie here and see this guy. And oh gosh. I have a short bow. I'm gonna take my short bow out and I am going to shoot at him.
Okay. Give me an attack with your short bow. A 15 is a hit.
Okay. 8 piercing.
8 piercing damage. Yeah, you fire this short bow at the skeletal form in front of you. You see the arrow fly perfectly true. It hits the ribs and the sternum at the center of this thing, breaking apart these kind of old bones. It stops, lodging partially in the spine and sticking out of this skeletal rib cage. The creature kind of stumbles a little and continues to move forward. Do anything else? There's probably nothing else you can do, actually.
Can I do anything?
I don't think so.
No, I'll just yell over. Their bones seem really weak, and ready, get myself just kind of prepared for what my next move will be.
All right, Skeleton Suna.
I'm trembling. I pull out this bow that I guess I know intrinsically how to use, even though I've never really used a bow before, which is alarming. And I will move out here. Can I still attack from here? Or is Ellie in the way?
No, you can.
All right.
Unless you fail miserably.
Well, let's hope we don't fail miserably. 22.
22 is an even better shot than Aura. I hesitate to use the phrase muscle memory, but an odd kind of muscle memory overtakes as you pull the bow out and you suddenly find the hand bringing an arrow towards it, knocking it, pulling it back. You fire this arrow and it fires dead straight, cracking into the eye socket of the skeleton that's kind of rushing forwards towards you. It opens its mouth, about to knack again before its head is removed by this arrow. It launches and spins into the darkness beyond, and this skeleton falls down. But you can hear other skeletons now rushing and fumbling around from behind you.
What is that?
From this direction.
I think there are more.
As if they're coming
Look
this
out.
way. Bringing us to Ellie's turn.
Oh boy. Wait, I have to see how far I can even move.
30 feet.
30. I don't even know if I can move far enough to get to one.
I can hold this here if you want.
How does it? Is there like a thing where I can like enter a sort of like defensive stance or something?
You can ready an action so that when something does a thing, then your action goes off.
You can also, there is also dodge, which lets you, everything has disadvantage to attack you.
I think
until your next turn.
I would do that. I would take dodge, and I can't see. Oh my god, I can't see anyone from right here. Oh, I see some. Yeah. I think I see some.
Yes, you do. As you turn this corner, Ellie kind of like stumbles forward. You see these kind of skeletal Ellie legs running forward. She gets to the edge of the kind of crumbled tower that sits behind each of you. She puts a back to it, turns around the corner, and just in the darkness, Ellie, you barely make out a figure running towards you. What you see is the skeletal figure of something much larger than you are, but not ginormous, but is most certainly a dragonborn. This is a dragon man. They have a reptilian skull. They have thick armor over them now. It's kind of a plate looking armor. There is a cape on them as well. They're holding a short sword of their own. One hand is missing, and you see another short sword on the ground with a hand gripping it, but kind of moving towards you. You see this dragonborn. For a moment, as you first lay eyes on them, the dragonborn is moving towards you with both hands, two swords in hand, gleaming, a little gem at the base of each of the swords glowing in this kind of darkness. The area around you looks like this kind of shadowy darkness for a second before giving way to kind of an open sandy landscape, just like Dustvale where you'd come from before. The figure in front of you appears once more to be a green flesh dragonborn as the flesh is appearing. You see their teeth, you see their eyes as they look at you, and this one is not afraid of you as the first one was. This one is angry and moving towards you as if with purpose, as if this is this person's job. They bring the sword forwards, and you see him again shout to someone just across the room, "Found it!" and then disappears again before once again returning to a skeletal broken form. The armor, which was quite clear before and washed in a black, is all old and chipped and rusted, bits moving from it. There's a clear dent in the armor at one point and a puncture as if a lance has gone through this old withered armor, and this thing just moves forward towards you. The one arm falling limp at one side and the other moving as if it wants to come along here and cut your head off. You hear this stuff happening next door or beyond this wall behind where the others are. What do you want to do?
All right, well,
you're in front of a very low wall, by the way, sorry. So this wall here you can walk over. This is a busted kind of broken wall. You don't need to go around like this. You can just go like this or like this.
I'll probably do that because, I definitely overheard Ellie saying that, the others are over there. So I'm going to make my way over to Ellie. And I think that counts for my action, so I'll ready up my action for the next turn.
No, you can.
Movement.
Yeah, that's your
you can
movement.
also attack.
You can do one of the.
So I can still make an attack.
Yes.
Yep, you can do short bow or long your. Well,
I'm gonna use my short bow then at the one closest to Ellie.
There's more than one.
There is more than one. You come running around the side of Ellie here, and you see this thing rushing towards you. To you, it appears just like a dragonborn skeleton. You bring up this short bow and fire off the thing. Yeah, you can hit the word attack, and that's what does the roll.
5 piercing.
The arrow flies true again. I don't know if you've used. I know you use crossbows. I don't know if you've ever used a short bow, but the arrow flies pretty true. You see it fly forward. It catches the shoulder of this thing, breaking apart the old rusted armor, puncturing in and breaking some of the bone underneath, removing the rest of that arm. that was missing a hand, you then probably notice a small-looking skeletal form moving at you from the right-hand side, your right-hand side, as you fire this thing. Moving across the room here towards you, there's a very small-looking skeletal frame. Probably the skeletal frame of a dwarf, judging by the ridiculously long beard that's flowing all the way down and to the side of this thing as it's moving forward. You see that it has classic dwarven, thick plate mail armor. Barely even rusted with time. It still looks pretty good. Pauldrons that sit on these tiny skeletal shoulders, this big chest plate, these thick greaves, and carrying a very, very large axe. As it materializes, you see the axe appear, and you see the flesh holding the axe materialize over this thing as well. The skeletal face with nothing but a beard. The beard grows thicker, the flesh materializing over the skeletal frame, and you see before you a dwarf in thick armor, the armor black and blue, the grey hair of the beard now thick and red as he says, "That one's mine! Give him to me! Let me get him! Come on!" And he starts running forward, and then again, as you hear these words, they slowly taper off and are replaced with as it runs towards you.
Would you say he has stout boots?
No, he doesn't have stout boots.
Oh, okay.
We're really pleased to know he doesn't.
Thank you. I needed that.
And I deleted the wrong thing. But he runs towards you, and I guess I can just do this, Bo. And you see this axe comes swinging in towards you. Now, as skeletons, all of your ACs are the same. You have 13 AC, I believe, and 13 HP. How do you avoid this giant axe as this tiny dwarf swings it towards your frail skeletal frame, Bo?
I see him coming for me, and as he swings, I fall a bit backwards and fall on my skeletal bum.
Yeah.
And he swings right in between my legs, and I'm like, holy!
The thing is kind of like looking at you, and it struggles to bring this huge great axe back. The same thing kind of happens here, Ellie, with the other skeleton, the dragonborn one, much bigger than you, probably 6'5", something like that, 6'6", as it comes running towards you. It swings its empty arm, but like nothing really happens before swinging the other one over towards you as well. Wow, that one's gonna hit you.
Did you roll with disadvantage though? Because I took dodge.
Oh, you did. Yes, very good. And it's a 12, so that one does in fact miss. Yeah, it swings one arm, which you duck under, the other one swinging just an empty arm socket, arrow lodged into the empty shoulder socket area. Bo, there is a stumbling noise from behind you as another skeleton appears. You see the form of what looks to be another tiefling, similar to Orin, that it has a skull with horns coming up, but the horns are a little different to Aura's. They're bigger, they roll backwards further like a ram. The skeletal frame of this tiefling is very large, as if this was a very, very tall tiefling, nothing like a half Goliath or anything like that, but just a big tiefling. The tiefling comes around the corner and has a spear in its arms. It turns and sees you. You see it point the spear towards you, hold it up above its head, and this set of bones has no clothing at all before suddenly you see for a moment the flesh appear and materialize on this tiefling, completely naked, save for some kind of war paint or something that might have been running across the face of this tiefling. Huge, muscular frame, now holding these just ginormous muscles on probably one of the biggest tieflings you've ever seen, holding the spear up above its head. It speaks suddenly in what's probably infernal or something like that, something that you don't understand too well. and just says, Dura Bondi, and throws the spear towards you before giving way to that flesh once again. And the spear is going to fly at you from back wall behind you, Bo. And on a 9, just over your head, and you see the spear launch towards the back wall, breaking apart, hitting the back wall of this crumbling tower, rocks falling to the ground. The skeletal tiefling holds his hand backwards, and you see another spear materialize out of thin air, and he brings it up over his shoulder as if to throw it towards you again.
I don't know how he missed, considering I was on my ass, but I'll take it.
Yes, well, you can thank this dice, my oldest dice, my most trustworthy dice.
Thank you, Brad's dice.
Bringing us back to you, Aura.
Okay, so this guy's dead. The one I shot at before, correct?
Yep, he is indeed a crumbled set of bones that have fallen in on themselves.
Well, I'm going to hear them. Oh, I'm conflicted. I hear them having conflict. So this is 30 feet coming right up behind Ellie. Yep. And I'm going to... I can shoot my bow and arrow and not hit her, correct?
Correct, unless you really fuck it up.
Okay, so I'm going to take my short bow out and shoot the one that's the one attacking.
There's one that's missing an arm.
There is, yeah. Helps. It's the one in front of Ellie. In fact, you know what? I'll give them dots if you want. That's gonna make it easier.
Yeah, that is signifying like one's already kind of like messed up.
And blue.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the one next to Ellie, I'll just shoot at, just because it's the closest one.
Yes.
Okay.
That one is a green dragonborn. So I will give it a green dot. There you go.
Okay. You had 10.
10 is a miss. Yeah, you... Boom, the arrow flies past Ellie, but also past the skeleton, disappearing into the distance. It goes beyond where the tower is.
Okay. I mean, I think that's all I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna assess the situation, and that's all I can do.
Not easy being a skeleton, is it? Remember that when you're playing at home, murdering all these innocent skeletons who are weak and frail. Suna, your turn.
Right. I would like to... Oh dear. This wall here, can I see over that?
No, that one, that's like half of a tower that goes up above you.
This one too? Over here? Like if I were to move over here, I can't see over that?
See what you can see. Oh, you can see from there, yeah. You'd be able to fire it.
Great.
The two on your left.
Great. And this isn't too close, is it? Do I need to back up a little?
Nope.
All right.
Good.
Then I would like to fire my bow. 11.
Nice. Yes, you fire it into the ground near where the skeleton is. As it hits the ground, the arrow breaks, and everyone else notices that the arrow reappears in the quiver behind Suna's back.
Oh.
But that is the end of your turn. In the same way that the spear appeared. Ellie, your turn.
I'm gonna take out my short sword and try to hit this guy in front of me.
All
Give him
right.
a nice bonk.
Do it.
Nope.
Natural 1. Yay.
I dropped the sword. I don't know.
You roll me a d20. We'll find out what you say. I get to use my...
This is just not my...
Oh, that might be good. Let's find
that
out.
mean?
Natural 20 on a melee crit fail is... Wow, you get to roll twice. Roll me 2 more. Roll twice from the table and apply both of the effects.
Oh, yeah.
19 and 7. Let's see. Wow, okay. So, you swing the sword. The skeletal form takes a moment, steels itself, and dodges your attack. It suddenly becomes just like its lively form as the dragonborn figure kind of moves out of the way very deftly in its armor. You swing the sword around, and your awkward kind of non-fleshy arm betrays you in the same way that Aura's body did. You ding the wall, it swings back and hits you, dealing maximum possible damage, which is, let's see, what is that, a d6 on an attack on a short sword? Let me just roll and see what it is. It is d6 plus 2, so that's 8. You take 8 damage. Now what you guys can do when you take damage is click on your token. Above your token there's a green circle, and you can just type in that -8, and it will do it all for you. Hopefully, if I haven't set it up incorrectly. You also suddenly find a big arm grab at you, drag you in, and Ellie, this skeleton, grabs you and grapples you, holding you in place. You're now being held by this much larger dragonborn skeleton as this thing gets a free grapple on you. Good turn. Bo's turn.
Well, seeing as I'm still on my ass, I quickly get up and I try and assist Ellie using my short sword on the hand that's now grappling her.
All right, give me the attack roll.
20.
I'd say 20, but not a natural 20. Give me the, give me the attack, the damage.
5 piercing.
5 piercing damage. You swing this thing, you feel it kind of bite into the back of the head, the giant skeletal reptilian dragon man head of this thing. You break half of the back of its skull off. It crumbles and splits, shards of cranium flying everywhere. Yet it remains holding on to Ellie. The head falls from the spine and hits the ground as you bring the sword back, and yet it remains holding on to Ellie. The thing is not dead. Its body is still completely animated and holding on to Ellie, but this big skull has hit the ground and broken apart into several pieces at its own feet. It is going to bring the sword up and try and hit Ellie, which it's gonna do. And I guess I'll just roll this button again, because it's the same roll. 7 damage, Ellie.
I'm down. Ellie's down.
The sword hits, it kind of like drives the sword down on top of Ellie here, and Ellie just falls into a pile of bones. Just all magic or whatever was holding her together, all animation is gone, and she falls into a loose set of bones and cloth as her leathers and her quiver and bow and sword all fall into a pile at her feet. All 3 of you see this dragonborn suddenly swing, letting go of one of them, and turning around towards pointing where Bo is, but shouting towards this dwarf skeleton next to him. He says, "Right, that's one of them. They're swarming us. I don't know how many there are." And then his voice transforms. The dwarf swings a great axe at you, Bo.
Oh no.
And that's a 3. So another as this sword flies over the top of the great axe swings over the top of your head. It says, the tribal one throws another spear at you, Bo. You are in everyone's line of sight here.
Oh god.
And that one is a 10. So, again, you're just kind of standing there, I think, dancing, kind of this doing like a comical skeleton dance.
Oh god, I have no idea how they're all missing, but...
And yeah, you're able to avoid all these things. Bringing us to you, Aura.
Okay. I'm gonna try my sword this time. I'm gonna pull that out. I'm gonna move over because I just saw him attack and destroy essentially Skeleton Ellie. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna come over here and I don't want to stand over her. I'm gonna move around him in as fancy of a way as I can, sidestepping him, and then I'm gonna take my sword and I'm gonna hit him.
All right, give me the attack roll.
6.
6 is a miss. You got to swing at him, but he turns swiftly again. The awkward kind of shambling every now and then is replaced with with a deftness and an agility that's unexpected from this kind of wobbling, headless skeleton. As you bring your sword across, he turns, spins around, headless, bringing his sword up to parry yours. The two swords clash, ding, echoing off of the walls around you. The skeletal figure stumbles backwards, you two end up kind of hitting swords maybe a couple times. As Suna brings us to you.
If I attack him with his back turned to me, do I get anything special?
You do not.
Well, I'm going to do it anyway.
You can do that, yeah. In some D&D games, you do get that, but
I figured I'd ask.
Ridiculous roll that I hate. 15 is a hit, though, so you know what? Let's see what you do here. I mean, you'd have to be standing maybe here. Give me the damage. Yeah, click on the word attack in the list. Yes. How do you kill him?
Well, I think I've never used a bow before, but whatever the skeleton is, it's super smooth and it knows exactly what to do. So it pulls the bow back, it's slanted a little bit, and the arrow goes straight and true right into the skeleton's forehead.
All right, I see what you're doing.
This is the dragonborn one, right?
Using the short sword.
Nope,
yeah.
I'm using my bow.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hit short sword. My bad. They're both attack +4. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think it's the same roll. And this pile of bones suddenly stumbles forwards. Aura, you're kind of clashing swords with him. You bring a sword up and he counters it, and you get kind of caught in this moment as each of you start clashing swords. When suddenly he drops his sword and you stab forwards with an easy thrust, breaking through the ribs and stuff. There is an arrow that's lodged in the ribs behind him, and he stumbles forward. For a second, you see a flash of a wide-eyed dragonborn grab at his own back before falling into a pile of bones forwards, the bones separating and rolling across the ground at your feet. Ellie, you are dead-ish. Ellie, your skull is on the ground, looking up, and you can still see all of this happening. You just have no control over your body. You don't feel anything. And you're just witnessing all this stuff happen as all these feet are running across you and two people are clashing swords and things like that. And you're unable to move. You get the sensation.
I grab my imaginary popcorn and I start eating it.
Yeah, you're kind of witnessing this thing, and it's a strange sensation as your skull is still watching all of this happening from the ground.
Is this what TV's like?
Oh, it's your turn.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get out of these two's line of sight, so I'm gonna make a side step and create some distance between me and this dwarf, and I'll then pull out the short bow, and it's a 10. I miss.
That is a miss, and it does get an attack of opportunity on you, so let's see if it hits.
Oh, no.
It doesn't. It swings a great sword at you. You jump over this great axe and run to one side. You bring the short bow out, fire it. It launches past it, and also moves past the guy who is currently throwing another spear at you. On a 15, he's actually going to hit.
Oh, yep, he got me.
And he's going to deal 4 damage to you. So you just click on your token.
Ellie.
A little green 13 bubble will appear above it, and you can just put -4 and type -4 in that bubble, and it does it all for you. It's
there we go.
Super useful.
Ow.
Then the dwarf. The dwarf shouts "Knack!" and very angrily and for just oddly stops swinging towards you and runs over here towards where Suna is and swings great axe at you, Suna.
All right.
On a 2, it misses. How does it miss?
I think I just stand there and it swings, and I think its muscle memory was expecting to hit flesh and it just didn't.
Right, and it hits the wall. You see part of the wall like break and crumble next to you. For a second, you see a flash of a dwarf in this fine armor again. Tears streaming from his face, running down the cheeks of this dwarf and into his big thick beard before giving way again to a skeletal dwarf. biting at the air.
I'm very sorry.
Skeleton aura.
Okay, so let me see how far this guy is. Okay, I'm gonna go over to blue skeleton, and I'm going to try swinging my sword again at this one.
Do it.
10.
10 is a miss. This huge tiefling skeletal form materializes a spear, and you bring this sword down. It parries your sword away from you and begins to bring this spear back, and as if it's going to thrust it forward towards where you are, bringing us to Sauna, who's doing the classic PB food dip.
Shh. All right.
Pick your bingo cards.
I fumble for the short sword and I swing at the frightening creature in front of me who's crying and probably making me cry. 12.
12 is a miss. You swing downwards. He brings his
Shit, I'm sorry.
his bracer up, and you just hit with your rusted, kind of worn, chipped short sword this pristine dwarven forged armor as it ding scrapes down the side of it. The skeleton kind of readjusting himself as well. Ellie, you get to watch this all happen. You're having a great time. Probably missing it now, as your head is probably facing the wrong way, and now everyone's moved out of sight.
Someone's kicked my head, and now I'm facing the wall. And
Rolled,
just going.
yeah, the dwarven skeleton rolled your head in one direction, and now you're kind of just staring at the side of a wall. Bringing us to Bo.
All right. I'm gonna get a little bit closer to where the dwarf is, who's obviously trying to give Suna a hard time. I'm then gonna take my short bow and attempt at attacking. Oh.
A 12 is a miss again as you fire the short bow. You see the arrow ding off the wall. It slides past where both of the skeletal forms of the dwarf and Suna are, as the dwarf brings this axe once again up towards Suna, swinging with a mighty thrust, and that is definitely a hit.
All right.
Wow, that is so lucky on a d12 plus 2. The natural one in terms of damage. 3 damage. It swings this huge great axe towards you, and as you jump backwards, your pinky is removed from your hand as it crashes into the wall once again, moving towards you menacingly. The tribal dwarf, which is thrusting a...
Wait, I lost my pinky?
You lost a pinky on one of your hands.
Oh my god.
And
I love that pinky.
On an 11, Aura, the two of you with your short sword, he brings it, thrusts it forward, you parry it, kind of curling it away from dealing any damage to you, and it is now your turn to retaliate.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do my short sword again. I'm gonna swing at him again.
Okay. 13 is a hit. Yeah, give me the damage.
5 plus 4 piercing.
It's just the 5. The 5 plus 4 was if you had got that crit.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's fine, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's a hit. Yeah, you swing this thing along. You catch one of the skeleton's knees, and you see him kind of stumble sideways. The knee and the top of the and the top of the tibia break away. I know my bones now. They break away, and this skeleton suddenly stumbles sideways, falling to the ground. As he does so, you see a flash of this very large, kind of deep, kind of mauve-skinned tiefling with this tribal paintwork on his face and on the tops of his shoulders, with a spear fall to his side. Looking down, you see blood pouring out of a terrible gash and wound on his legs as he falls sideways, his eyes opening wide, his spear rolling away from him, and he holds up a hand to you before it returns to a skeletal form, and he's just kind of a set of bones rolling around on the ground near you. Suuna, your turn.
Right. I again try to attack the one in front of me.
Do it.
24.
Natural 24. Yeah, give me all the damage.
All right.
As if to show off to KPP.
Plus 3.
6 plus 3 is
9.
Is 9. I know, but I was working out whether it was enough to kill you.
I know you were doing
kill
something
it,
else.
and I was going to let you have it, but it's got 1 HP. So,
all right.
You see this dwarf bring this axe back, and then you just bring this short sword up, bring it down, and remove one of the arms on this dwarf. With the weight of the axe now on one arm, you see the other arm fall off, and the axe with both arms still gripping it falls to the ground. The skeleton kind of stumbles and falls left and then right, falling against the wall, bringing us to skeleton Ellie, who is just kind of happily watching the wall. There's a lot of sounds going on around you, Ellie, and not 100% sure what's going on. And then Bo's turn.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do Ellie as solid, so I'm just gonna quickly go over to Ellie and switch her head around to where Aura and the skeletal tiefling is, and I'm then gonna say, "What's this?" And then I take out my short bow and try to attack the skeletal tiefling.
Give me the attack roll. 8 is a miss as you. Yeah, if only you had swapped your head for Ellie's, you might have had the Echo Eye that would have helped you there.
Oh,
you
boy.
Fire an arrow and it launches towards the area again. Every now and then for Suuna, there's an arrow that launching over the top. But this dwarf is kind of stumbling around, armless, unable to really do anything. Both skeletons that are on the ground in their last-ditch attempts to damage you will do so. A wild swing towards Aura from the ground, from the arm. Wow, a terrible miss. Aura, the tribal tiefling's spear swings towards you, and you maybe even just put a foot out to stop it from hitting you. He isn't able to. The one which is attacking Suuna is going to just rush you and see if he can slam into you. And he doesn't. He runs forward and you just avoid him. He hits the wall. And Aura, it's your turn.
Oh, no.
I'm going to try to hit him again with a short sword.
All right, you have advantage, so you can take whichever is the higher number that rolls. That is now a natural 24.
Oh.
I think it's impossible for you not to kill him there. How do you destroy this skeleton?
Oh, I aim for his rib cage and just bring my sword down onto his rib cage and imagine his bones just shatter and dust erupts off of him.
That's exactly what happens. Yeah, this skeleton just explodes into dust and bits of bone as it flies all up around where you are. An almighty crash as you stop this spear with one foot and then bring the sword down 2 hands, crushing the rib cage. Suuna, the one in front of you, has rushed towards you, has barely missed you. What do you do?
I'm going to hit it again.
Oh, right.
Or not.
You swing towards it, but it's kind of moving spasmodically. It moves one way and then the other, and it's really hard to swing the short sword at it and predict its movement, kind of like drunken boxing. Ellie is watching all of this happen as Bo does something else.
Right. Well, I then kind of just slowly put away the short bow. It's not for me, I guess. And then I make my way over to this skeletal dwarf, pull out the short sword. Let's see if this will do something.
Terrible miss. You run forward and you're not as good as you were hoping with the short sword. Again, It's like drunken boxing with this thing as it's swinging around wildly. It attempts once again to slam Suuna. It just runs in a circle and hits the wall. Bits of bones falling off of him again. Aura, it's your turn.
You poor thing.
Okay, let me see. I'm gonna rush over to the pink skeleton And feel bad, Bo. Can I stand next to Bo, or do I need to be behind Bo?
You can do. Yeah, you can. You can stand on the same spot while you attack.
I'm going to take my sword and try to hit this skeleton as well.
Do it.
Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong thing. Do you want me to roll it?
No, you can roll it again.
Okay. 10.
Still a miss. Missing this thing. Suuna, who wants to get the finishing blow? Suuna.
All right.
Everyone swinging massively, wildly at this thing. Ellie, roll me a D10.
Oh, can I bite him?
That's the plan.
Yes.
As each of you swinging wildly at this thing, there is everyone's missing it, drunken boxing, and then a skeletal head launches upwards on its own just fury and lack of being able to do anything on the ground while all of you fail at hitting this wild thing. A skeleton launching through the air bites onto this skeleton that's wandering around. The skeletal jaws of Ellie crunch on the spine of what remains of the dwarven skeleton, and it falls apart, all the armor and bones and everything falling down around the head of Ellie as Ellie falls also inside the big plate armor of this thing into a sort of trap of darkness. And Ellie, you successfully deal 2 damage, which is all you needed to do to deal to kill this final skeleton as they all fall down one by one. The skeletons turn to dust and disappear from where you are. The castle area thing remains, and also skeleton Ellie remains kind of on the ground. I think I deleted skeleton Ellie. Hold on.
Can we put her back together?
Yeah, how do you guys do that?
Well, I think is this her shoulder?
I think that bone goes there.
Yeah, is this backwards?
I could be wrong. It could be there.
Does anyone know the bone song? Them bones, them bones, them bones. The hip bones connected to the... I don't know, because I don't know the song.
I think that I look more horrified in this moment than I have in this entire area because I've never heard you sing or be jovial in any stretch.
I am shook.
I think it's the skeleton. I don't know. I just sat here and watched you guys do great.
I think she actually enjoyed herself.
What? I'm...
Okay. Let's not think too much on it, please. Okay? Let's not make a big deal out of it.
Well,
I don't
know. Head and shoulders, knees and toes. Let's see if she'll sing along. Come on,
knees and toes.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Shoulders, knees and toes.
Okay. Did you guys find my head and shoulders and my knees and toes?
Well, I
but you gotta sing it. You gotta sing it.
I'm not singing the whole. I don't know the whole song.
Just do that part again.
No.
Come on.
But
I'll put you back together if you sing it. Please.
Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Knees and toes.
All right.
All right, we'll fix it right up.
This is her shin right here. This is a leg bone for sure.
Okay. Now I'm assisting Suuna putting Ellie back together.
Yes.
Is this gonna work?
Give me intelligence checks from your main sheets.
16. Oh, that was a save. My apologies.
Same thing. It's fine. You don't have it. You're not a wizard. Same to you, Bo.
Spoilers.
14. Oh, you guys know all the parts of the skeleton, including the scapula and the ulna and the patella and the talus. All of the famous parts. Slowly but surely, you start grabbing random bits of Ellie's bones and bringing them together. As Bo puts one of these foot bones into place, and you feel an almost like magnetic pull as you get them close, and it starts to more and more as you bring the bones closer and closer together. You feel them kind of move into place and snap into place. As you place the final foot bone in place, the Bo or Suna, who wants to do it? And I'll tell you what it is in a second.
I'll leave it up to Suna.
Well, you did the last one, so I'll do this one, whatever it is. Hopefully it's not strength.
So who's doing it? Bo?
Suna.
No, I am.
Suna. All right, give me a perception check with disadvantage.
All right. 12.
12. All right, now the random number to determine what you need to get.
Oh.
You can thank Merkel for the natural 1 was the number you had to beat. As you see Bo place the final, or one of the final foot bones in place, you realize that on the inside of one of the leg bones here, the fibula, on the inside of it, you see the words.
Is that the thigh bone?
That is a. Yes, it's not.
All
it's
right.
It's a fibula bone.
But is that like on the inside
lower
of the leg
part.
or the outside? All right.
Back of the shin.
Below
I
the
think.
knee?
The shin bone.
All right.
Shin bone.
The shin. All right.
On the back of the shin
Got it.
bone.
Thank you. Sorry.
You see the word Vendrus chipped
What
in
the
the
hell?
same way as she has Keras written on the other side. However,
Oh.
it is 1 second and you see the word Vendrus before Ellie reappears as Ellie, flesh.
Whoa.
Instant, just a blink and miss it moment as the foot bone is placed in by Bo's skeletal, then fleshy hands. As you see this happen, you see your own hands have returned, and Aura is also flesh and bone once again, not just bone.
Wait, Aura is? Too?
Yes, all of your stuff returns to you. The same sensations of your magic.
What about us?
All of you.
Yes.
You all returned to your selves as they were before this thing. You have the same HP and spell slots and features and skills and things like that you had before becoming skeletal. So after the last fight you had with the Lost and the Spectres. But
Right.
you get that all back. You get that sensation again of your spells, however that you access them. You get the
That's such a
sensation
relief.
of your stuff. The sword that you had, the short sword, gives way and turns into your satchel. The short bow on your back gives way and returns to maybe a great sword for Aura, that kind of thing. And the weapons that Ellie has secreted everywhere. But everything else remains. The kind of rubble and broken landscape of the ancient castle still here. None of
What
the
about my pinky?
people, your pinky's still there. You but that's it for now. As you rebuild Ellie, you each return to your fleshy selves again.
Are we done here? Or is this
I don't know, but
or something?
I've never been so happy to see my wrinkles in my life.
What is happening? Did you meet your god? Like when we were separated, did you take care of all that?
Oh no, I was on the ground. Are you talking about just now, that fight? No, I got dismantled and was just watching you guys.
Well, now what?
And judging you. Judging your
you
fight.
were the one on the ground.
I know. It was quite nice, actually. It was nice just watching, you know? It's kind of like just being there.
Isn't this like your world, though?
Yeah, shouldn't we be out of here by now?
Yeah,
I
I
think
have
so.
no idea. I hope so.
Oh, thanks for putting me back together, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for the
course.
song.
Yeah, let's not mention that ever again.
You have a lovely, not mentioning it, but you do have a lovely one of the things I'm not mentioning. Right.
Bones?
No, a singing voice, Ellie.
Oh. No, we're not mentioning that. And then I look around.
Yeah, what are you looking for?
I'm looking. Are we back? We're back out. We're not in the dungeony place anymore.
You're in what looks like the ruins of a castle. The landscape has remained pretty much the same each time. In the sense that it's a smoky, shadowy land with pretty flat and barren for the most part. The dancing lights in the distance, and not much else. The area around you right now looks like you're in the ruins of a very small keep or castle or something like that. Very old though, like mostly eroded away. You can see quite clearly beyond it that there isn't anything else, as if this is just like a staging area. This is all that is here that's been manifested. There isn't anything in the distance.
I walk towards the light.
Anything like that. Yeah, you can walk towards the light. There are multiple different sources of light, but there's a big kind of central light that you can move towards. There isn't another abyss that you can see, no.
Okay, good. I walk towards the light.
Okay.
Well, I don't suppose I know what it was. That was horrific, by the way. I hope we never experience anything like that again. And I honestly, Ellie, I don't know why you would want to rule over a realm like this.
Not if I'm gonna be a skeleton, that's for sure. Not like that.
Those were people.
Did anybody notice, like, sometimes you would see skin?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They were living their worst nightmare or their death. I couldn't tell. The one saying there they are.
Or just their life. You know, that's just some people's lives.
Yes, but I feel like they're just trapped and I hated it. I hated it. I hope this isn't what happens when you die.
Well, maybe you can ask that god.
I will not be speaking to that thing.
Okay, I'll ask.
Count me out too.
Okay, I'll ask. It's okay. It's not like he doesn't know who you are already.
Well, I don't care.
I keep walking.
Yeah, you are you all following? Kind of leaving this castle area?
Yeah, I'm slowly following behind Ellie.
Yeah.
I guess so. What's up at the top of the castle?
Nothing. There really isn't.
Anything?
There
Nothing?
isn't like a top.
Right.
It's like it's all gone.
Destroyed.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
There's rubble
Then
around.
yes, I just follow Ellie.
Yeah. So you three leave, and as you move away, and I think as whoever is at the back of the pack here steps outside of the kind of castle grounds area, behind you, you hear it crumble down from behind you. Maybe as you turn around, standing there now is the figure that you saw when you first got here. You see this Reaper-like creature, Merkel, appear, and he, as the castle falls into dust and the smoke rises up around him to sort of coalesce, he stands with this scythe, this robe of smoke, but underneath it is a skeletal form. Three of you see that he has kind of just humanoid features with just what looks like a human skull under there. Really little else that you can make out. Same thing for fingers, and I don't think you see anything else. These robes come down all the way into that darkness and the mist. The darkness almost kind of lifting up around where he stands. But for you, Aura, he has horns under this robe. You can see them coming up and out, curling around the back of the robe. But he pretty much looks exactly the same. Standing maybe about 9-10 feet tall, the hand that isn't gripping the scythe opens up towards you, resting first on you, Aura. Merkel says,
"A wilted leaf on a gnarled tree."
The hand moves over to you, Bo, and just says,
"Stagnant water."
Then to you, Suuna, it says,
"Failed ancient magic."
I beg your pardon?
It points towards you, Ellie, last, and says,
"One final test. Truly, I am old, and you will be doing me a favor, child."
And that is where we end today's session.
Holy shit, that was so good.
He said my water was stagnant.
Yes, failed magic. Fuck that guy.
Uh-oh. I was waiting for my insult.
Oh, it was an insult.
That was so fucking awesome.
Yeah, makes sense soon enough. All right. That's the end of the sesh.
That was so fucking good. That was so good.
The land of the dead.
Me now, sorry. I'm.
Yeah.
You didn't make me want to not kill skeletons, though. Now I want to kill all the skeletons.
Well, that's fine. You do. You interpret and do whatever it is that you want to do, and I will facilitate that for you all next week on the next episode of Dying Order. Congratulations, you've made it past the fourth test of Merkel and on to the final test-ish, final thing next week of the Land of the Dead. Thanks so much for playing, players. I have a quick announcement and then we'll do some shout-outs just to let everybody know at the top here that we have a shill show this Tuesday, which is the Witchcraft and Wizardry cast playing a game called the Big Book of Madness board game in an attempt to raise a few dollars to keep the lights on. We do a shill show every month or so, which is just a way for us to pay for all the things that you see, like the overlay and the makeup that keeps me looking goddamn fresh. I'm so tired. So that's on Tuesday at 4 Eastern, which is 1 p.m. Pacific time, which is 9 p.m. British Standard Time, and whatever else that translates to you. Chill show, Witchcraft and Wizardry gang playing board games. So tune in for that, even if you don't want to. You usually can mess with the game, but I'm not too sure what it does with this.
Yes, you can this time. You
usually
can help
donate
or hinder.
to mess with whatever's going on. So tune in for that. Let's do a quick round of shout outs to see what this lot are doing this week, where you can find them, what they're up to. Let's start with the new Lord of Death. Katie Peters plays. Yeah. What's happening, Katie?
50-50. Really.
Yeah, I was waiting for one of you to step up and do it.
Did I talk now?
Yes, you are Katie Peters Plays, the Lord of Death.
I am the Lord of Death. Hi, I'm Katie Peters Plays. I played Aura, the skeleton, for you today. I kind of think that'd be cool to see. I hope someone makes fan art of all of us as skeletons. That would be super cool. But I've just been raising money for St. Jude all month. We're doing a cooking stream tomorrow, so if you want to see me be...
I've just been raising thousands of dollars all month.
Just casually raising a ridiculous amount of money.
Yes.
It's
He's amazing.
I'm so grateful for the community coming together. Just because everything kind of sucks in the world right now, this has been really cool. So we've been doing that. So you all unlocked a cooking stream. So come watch me make cupcakes. I'm going to make mac and cheese and coffee tomorrow.
Wait, are you making your signature comfort mac and cheese?
Yeah, we're making it homemade. It's not going to be like anything like that. So it's going to be fun. And I haven't done a cooking stream in forever.
Also, KPP has a rap that you can go and watch
play it?
on the Twitter. I can't. I don't know how to do it.
Just pull it up on Twitter.
Yeah, but then I can't. I have to recapture it, and then I've got to figure out how to mute everything that's different because you're all on the same thing. If I had thought of it this morning, I could have done it. So
go watch it. I'll put a link in the chat.
Yeah, I'll link it on the VODs and stuff as well, so you'll be able to find the link to the tweet if you want to watch KPP's rap. It's ridiculously good.
It's so good.
Yeah, I was impressed, but then I remembered that your husband is famous rapper Dr.
And you
Dre.
were no less impressed.
And
we're no less impressed because it's amazing.
Yeah.
Mark and I have never rapped before in our lives besides jokingly at each other around our house. So you want a lot of bread puns. So
and now you've got an EP dropping next Monday on iTunes.
People are like, can you put this on Spotify? I'm like, I don't know how, but I'll try. So that's the thing.
Yeah, it's just full Wu-Tang covers, but it's all remixed to bread based.
Yeah, just bread.
Bread Wu-Tang covers. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go.
Bye.
I have like T-minus 60 seconds before my brain completely lets go at the end of these sessions. I don't know what that is, but spinning all those plates. Anyway, the next creature of the night, a demon summoned up from the pits of hell itself to torment us all in sin. It's Disbiarix. Where can people find you and what are you up to in the week?
Hi, I'm Disbiarix. I played Bobo Skeleton for you today. You can find me here on Twitch at Disbiarix, and I do a lot of other roleplay on my channel. Currently doing a lot of it over on Red Dead Redemption 2. It's been an absolute blast, and today's episode was fantastic. Thank you so much, everybody, for all the fun.
Disby is also releasing a rap this week on Twitter.
Oh, God. Can't rap for shit.
Yeah, well, we'll judge you. We'll judge you ourselves when you release the rap.
You know, there's actually this girl, Lily Pichu, and she did a League of Legends rap. And at the beginning, she's like, I can't rap very well. And then she just absolutely destroyed anyone who did a rap before that. And she has like a very like high-pitched voice as well, like a little anime voice. Oh my God, it was the best thing. And she, I don't know if you guys know Annie from League of Legends.
Yeah.
She did that voice. Oh my God,
Annie,
it killed me. I would like to see a Disby rap too.
Yeah, it's happening. She's confirmed it just then.
Please
It will
do
be
it.
up by Wednesday. By Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, you will see it on Disby's Twitter, so make sure you follow.
She's just gonna retweet KPP.
That's right.
That time.
If I introduce Pocket as the Lord of Death or a demon summoned up from hell, she will be happy about it, so I'm not gonna. Pocket, where can people find you?
Clearly I am the master singer in the group and should be introduced as such now.
Yeah, Pocket's gonna be doing covers of every single song by Adele this week by Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern.
I don't like Dell computers, thank you.
That's correct. That's why. That's why you're doing it. It's ironic.
Where can they find me? On Twitter. I'm gonna be probably back to streaming this week. I took a break last week and I needed a mental break. And I'll be back to cosplay, back to streaming, back to photo taking, and back to prepping my house to get rid of it. Yay!
Yay! Nice. Okay.
That sounds stressful as hell.
It does sound horribly stressful.
It is.
It sounds so stressful I can't even think about it because it adds to my stress and I can't.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I can't. I hate
I wish
house
I could just
stuff.
yeet the house onto someone else and be like, I'm out.
Yeah,
Bye.
house stuff is so annoying to deal with. There's so many elements to it, and I can't even imagine doing it right now. So yes, go and support Pocket. So that
I second the skeleton fan art. I just want to throw that out there. Especially the part where we're all just arguing with each other over while the death god's staring at us.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Over what Ellie stole, nonetheless.
Yeah, that's the best time to bring it up.
Yeah, that was the best reveal.
Oldest possible laundry to go through in the show from like episode.
Well, you know, at least we died with it aired. You know, we didn't die with things unspoken.
That's good. Yeah, you did that.
Yeah.
What about you, PB? I'm not giving you any introduction.
Hi, I am Pumpkinberry, and I played Old Woman Suna for you today.
Skeletal, super old.
Skeletal, super old, dying Suna. But I am. You can find me at Twitch and Twitter at Pumpkinberry. I just finished playing through the Final Fantasy VII remake, bawled my eyes out, and now I'm going to play the original game now. So that starts. Yeah, that starts tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. But I will also be here on Wednesday, GMing Gone, our surreal thriller, which Brad is in, KPP is in. And I'm also here on Fridays for Facade, the horror show.
Right. And she's also doing a drum solo.
Right now.
She's doing drum covers of Van Halen.
Yep.
All week, every day on Twitter.
Every day.
There will be a
on
new
my
drum
channel.
cover.
Don't do that, peeps. I was just about to smack the mic, but I'm not gonna do it. I'll spare you.
And do it. I'm amazed my mic held together. I don't know if you guys saw me like.
Yeah, I saw you got a broken mic.
Earlier on. I had to tie this thing up to make it work, and there you go. All right.
It's like you need a new mic arm.
I really do. But I will just never do it because I'm terrible and I just go and then
it's fine and then it breaks.
And every day it winds me up for the whole stream. Because this now works and I'm like, oh, it's fixed, and then I'll never think about it again. Def Leppard covers. Def Leppard covers coming from me.
Channel. Yeah. Okay.
I don't even know one Def Leppard song. Is that Pour Some Sugar on Me? Maybe. Is that Def Leppard? I don't know. It is? Okay, there you go. I'm like the only person in the world that listens to everything that sounds like Def Leppard, but not Def Leppard. So I will be learning and doing full Def Leppard covers. I'll be doing all of the different parts, including they have a one-arm drummer, I think, and I will be doing that with one arm as well. So all the parts of every Def Leppard song, and they will all be out within 10 minutes on my Mixer channel mixer.com/ninja. Thank you so much for watching the stream.
You're not even going to shout your own channel out. Go find Brad.
Nothing
Brad
happening on
Lodo.
it.
Do
I'm
that.
actually-
Yes, there is. He's playing Shadow of War, right?
I am.
Yes.
On
Forcing him to shout himself out.
mixer.com/ninja. Thank you so much, everybody, for
God.
watching. We'll be back next week for the final section. Probably, maybe the final section of the entire campaign.
Wait, what?
Oh, no. Bye. Say bye.
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 How was that?
Bye.